Governor Obaseki says godfathers will not decide who emerge local government leaders. APC extends tenure of caretaker committee by 6 months. On today's Extra Voices, residents lament over rising number of petrol and gas plants within residential areas. On entertainment, Davido's first female sign-in releases second single.
And in sports, Manchester United crash out of UEFA Champions League.
Details of these and more after this break. I am Omoye Ogbeide. State Governor Godwin Obaseki has assured that political godfathers will not have any influence in deciding local government leaders in the upcoming local government election in the state in a few months' time. Governor Obaseki was speaking during a workshop on igniting the economic development and viability of local government areas in Edo, held at John Oyegu Civil Service Training Academy in Benin City on Tuesday. The governor said that only competent people with proven records of integrity and capacity to deliver will be elected into various offices in the next council election, as this is the only way to entrench good governance at all levels.
This session is one that is going to be quite destructive. Let us tell ourselves the truth. The people must choose who their local government leadership will be. The next elections, we will not accept godfathers in local governments. We will not. We have said no to godfatherism in Edo State. We will not accept godfathers. We have only people of proven integrity, people who have demonstrated capacity, people who their people know have served and will serve them, should be the people we should elect as chairmen and councillors in our local government.
The governor charged the leadership of the local government to adjust their old approach to governance, which has made it difficult for the people to enjoy the optimal benefits of having them at a grassroots level. He said corruption and other forms of inefficiencies going on at the local government system have to stop for it to function properly and deliver services to the people.
Let us stop this wrong notion of thinking that what is most important is infrastructure. Let's build that human infrastructure first. It's the human beings that build the physical infrastructure. It has to be infrastructure to support economic activities because people need to live. We will get there eventually, but let us build what is critical and necessary. I see how much you people spend in grading roads. I just smile. Sometimes the cost you spend in grading roads could stabilize that road for more than 2 rainy seasons. If the British built roads that last till today, I mean, how much did they have then? The level of corruption in our system does not allow us to do what we need to do with what we have. Help me, help my brother, give him this contract. So I give you the job, then you now go and give it to the person who can do it. You make your own, the contractor makes his own, then who loses? The people. That's the way we've run government. It's not that we have enough, but what we have is more than sufficient to get us much further than where we are today.
The workshop was attended by chairpersons of the 18 local governments in the state and their executives. Outside alternative ways of improving local government's internal generated revenue, the workshop also examined possible ways to beef up security in local government areas. And the Edo State Judicial Panel of Inquiry for Victims of SARS and Related Abuses Tuesday summoned 2 Chief Superintendents of Police, Tokpe and Balogun, both of Ogida Division, Benin City, to appear before it on 17th December 2020 to explain their roles in the alleged assault and extortion of Patience Okundaye. The 61-year-old Okundaye told the panel that some group of persons blocked an attempted attack on her son and that one of the hoodlums was apprehended and handed over to the police, but due to their negligence, the suspect escaped with handcuffs while still in their custody. She brought a plasma TV set to the panel to play the recorded video of how the disbanded SARS raided her house and assaulted her, saying the police officers constantly turned her into an automated teller machine. She pleaded with the panel to invite the said police officers and recommend adequate sanction for them. The chairman of the panel, Justice Ada Ehigiamoso, however, ordered that the said officers appear before the panel on 17 December 2020. And coming up in a moment, APC extends tenure of caretaker committee by another 6 months. This and more when we come back.
Don't you touch that dial. Sugar, don't touch that dial.
FM 92.7. Football. Let us join the soccer thrill as the Edo Queens Football Club of Benin trade tackles with the Royal Queens FC of Delta State in the Nigeria Women Football League. This is the very first match to kickstart the Women League for the 2020-2021 season. It is going to be an exciting encounter. Date, Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. Venue, the rejuvenated Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City. Time, 4 p.m. Let us turn out to cheer our energetic Edo Queens while strictly observing the COVID-19 protocol. The gates will be thrown open to football fans. For further information and purchase of jerseys, contact Sabina Amiaminohena Chikere on 080-350-62356 or Kate Dirisu on 080-744-13731.
The National Executive Committee of the ruling All Progressives Congress has extended the tenure of the caretaker committee by 6 months. APC leadership took the decision at a meeting in Aso Rock, Abuja on Tuesday. The committee also dissolved all party organs at polling units, ward, local government, state and zonal levels and constituted caretaker committees. NEC directed new members of APC to be granted waivers so they can contest for elections without having to wait for 2 years, which was done previously. Meanwhile, the National Executive Committee of the All Progressives Congress has expelled a former National Vice Chairman South Hilad Etta from the party. Kaduna State Governor Nasser El-Rufai told State House correspondents at the end of the meeting that the party approved the expulsion of Etta for his failure to withdraw the court case instituted against the caretaker committee. Earlier, during his opening remarks at the NEC meeting, President Muhammadu Buhari asked the leaders of APC to respect party decisions. Etta had dragged the APC to court for dissolving the National Working Committee of the party in the last NEC meeting about 6 months after such decision was taken. The action was contrary to appeal at that NEC meeting that all court litigations by all members of the party be withdrawn while the new caretaker committee headed by Yobe State Governor work to resolve pending issues. And coming up in a moment on Extra Voices, the growing number of gas plants and petrol stations have become a talking point due to the danger it poses on residents. Details in a moment after this break.
In the ever-revolving world of news, one story becomes extinct the moment another major story breaks.
Market women don't know whether they pay anything.
But with KUFM's Extra Voices, the story never dies. It just takes on a new life.
Market, there's no water in the house. The toilet is not good.
With have any passion in APC.
We bring you new angles and fresh perspectives to every story, no matter how old or remote.
There are a lot of educated people that are involved in politics nowadays.
We go a little beyond the surface to get you those extra details ignored in the rush for the news.
Now bridge, now we take the entire.
Some don't die for inside.
We go beyond the lines to bring extra voices, not just for those making the stories.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
But for those affected by the stories.
I've lost one bag of rice. Documents.
So it's a real disaster.
With extra voices, we add new flavor to give fresh perspective and taste to an old story. Extra Voices airs every Wednesday and weekends on KUFM's major news bulletins.
The sighting of liquefied petroleum gas stations in residential areas are becoming a source of worry for many Benin residents. The people living close to these gas stations have expressed fears about the possible explosion and the resultant loss of lives. In 2018, a gas explosion at Ubo in GRA claimed 2 lives, including that of the manager of a gas station. KFM Extra Voices reports that most of these residents were of the view that the sighting of the gas stations close to their houses posed danger to their health.
Somewhere at Ekema Road, Benin City on Tuesday, 1st December 2020, a petrol tanker discharging its content caught fire inside a popular filling station. It took the intervention of workers and youth within the area to put up the fire, but that was not before it caused a little harm. Manager of the affected filling station, Theophilus Ehiosun, who was visibly disturbed, said the fire ignited when the petrol tanker discharged its content in one of the storage tanks.
I presume that maybe the flame of the fuel and the heat of the sun are contact together, to my own knowledge, because there was nothing there, no spark, nothing, no iron to iron. So the thing got like a military to me. Minor, not major. 2 of my workers got burned, though they rushed to hospital.
So thank God, the entire community people, they join out to make sure they put out the fire. So God be the glory. If not for their cooperation, Almighty God, the whole community would have been in a state of disaster.
Some of those who helped in putting out the fire thank God while blaming the government for giving approval for siting filling stations and gas stations in residential areas.
Why is gas? Because gas is even more dangerous than the fuel, because this one is air. If similar something like what just happen situation like this one will be worse than this, because this one is air and this one is free from this one.
The truth of the matter is that all filling stations are supposed to have fire extinguisher. I know it expired. They're supposed to check it in a routine. Every time that you will check the fire extinguisher.
This experience easily reminds one of a similar gas plant explosion at Ubo village area of Benin City in February 2018, which claimed 3 lives, leaving several others with severe burns injuries. Lately, it has become common to come across cooking gas plants and fuel stations springing up within residential areas, sometimes in densely populated areas in Benin City. For instance, along the Ekema Road, close residential area is a fuel station and a gas plant station at Plymouth Road, built in the middle of a residential and business zone. This business owner, who identifies himself as Peter, says working during the day near the gas station could be frightening, as the highly inflammable liquid poses a great danger to those living around.
You wake up every day and sleep every day with a great apprehension, but there's really nothing or little you can do about it, because these people, I believe, they operate with a license. So if the regulatory body issued a license to them, it just shows that the citizens don't have a say, because nobody asked any question before this license was issued to this plant very close to the house. In short, the distance between the fence and where we are talking from is actually less than 6 feet. So you can imagine how close we are to the hazard.
Meanwhile, the youth were angry with men of the Federal Fire Service who came to the scene of the fire incident after they had put out the fire.
We start calling the fire extinguisher. They did not come. But at the end of the day, after we finished, we managed to off the thing. But we thank God that God had made sure everything was okay. After the thing was, we tried to off the thing. Before we now saw they were coming. That is the reason I'm angry. That we don't have any. We called them for more than 30 minutes. There was nothing that was being done. Now they are here. Now they are building everything around. What are they doing here? I've already after everything.
But what are the regulatory requirements for siting gas or fuel stations in cities? Extra Voices spoke with Benin Operation Controller of the Department of Petroleum Resources, DPR, Engineer A.B. Ogewon. The DPR is the federal government agency responsible for the approval of gas and petrol stations before construction. Engineer Ogewon told Extra Voices that approval mechanism is a chain process which begins with Site Suitability Assessment (SSA).
If anybody wants to set up an LPG plant of between 0.1 to 10 metric tons capacity, it is expected that from that LPG tank that they want to set up to the boundary of the nearest residential building, they must maintain a distance of minimum of 30 meters to create a safety buffer.
He also spoke on the location of liquefied petroleum gas stations in residential areas in city centers.
The federal government has a policy of deepening gas penetration all over the country. After we must have licensed an LPG plant in a place and has started operating, we have constraints to be going about monitoring development as they are coming in to these areas and coming closer to the LPG plants where they are located. We do not have control over that, of course. That is where we will need the support of the respective state Ministry of Urban Development. So it is with that we need to actually sit down and educate, probably where they are not aware of some of the provisions of our safety rules in our guidelines.
With the rapid pace of urbanization, which sees new structures constantly springing up everywhere, every time, regulatory agencies apparently needs to be many steps ahead in the planning process and ensure strict adherence to city layout plans. Otherwise, a gas plant today could be a populated neighborhood tomorrow. For KUFM's Extra Voices, Lemedum Asagwaram.
And coming up in a moment in entertainment news, Davido's first female signing and DMW First Lady Leah releases second single, Mellow. This and more on entertainment news. Yes, now on to news break on KU 92.7 FM Benin City. Welcome to entertainment news, where Nigerian singer Davido's first female artist and DMW's first lady Leah released her second single on the label Mellow. The song is the actualization of a regal picture which Davido posted on his social media page some weeks ago. Nigerian superstar also made a cameo in the colorful video opposite the gorgeous Leah. On 2nd of October 2020, Nigerian superstar announced the signing of Leah. A few weeks prior to that, the talented soprano released the Afropop single Be My Vibe. This comes after DMW has signed acts like Lou Frosh, Ion Fair, Dane Day, and King Aja over the past 1 year. And that's it from entertainment to sports, where Manchester United knocked out of Champions League. This and more on our sports bulletin.
Premier League side Manchester United has crashed out of the UEFA Champions League following a 3-2 defeat to German side RB Leipzig that knocked them out of the UEFA Champions League at the Red Bull Arena in Germany last night. Needing just a draw to progress to the last 16, the three-time champions conceded twice inside 13 minutes before the hosts added what ultimately turned out to be the killer 10 with 20 minutes left after Justin Kluivert, the son of legendary Netherlands striker Patrick Kluivert, added the third goal. United staged the second half fight back thanks to Bruno Fernandes penalty and Pogba's header, but ultimately fell short. Leipzig currently top Group H with 13 points from 6 matches, while Manchester United finished third with 9 points. Elsewhere in Group H, Paris Saint-Germain will continue their game today against Istanbul Basaksehir after the match was suspended following racism row. The match was still goalless as at the time the game was suspended. And finally, Nigeria's Flying Eagles will seek a place in the semi-finals of the ongoing WAFO B Under-20 tournament in Porto Novo today when they confront West African arch rivals Ghana's Black Satellites at the Stade Charles de Gaulle. With only 3 teams in Group B and having drawn their first tie against Cote d'Ivoire on Sunday, the 7-time African champions require a win to advance to the knockout rounds. Head coach Ladan Bozo is upbeat about the chances of his words, saying the lessons learned from the opening match will be put to good use against the illustrious opponents. Meanwhile, Mark Zaruma captained the team against the Ivorians, echoed Coach Bozo's optimism. And that's sports news on KUFM's News Break. My name is Egusa Aigbeka, and back to you.
And that's the news, but before we go, a quick recap of the headlines right after this break.
Football. Let us join the soccer thrill as the Edo Queens Football Club of Benin trade tackles with the Royal Queens FC of Delta State in the Nigeria Women Football League. This is the very first match to kickstart the Women League for the 2020-2021 season. It is going to be an exciting encounter. Date, Wednesday, December 9th, 2020. Venue, the rejuvenated Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City. Time, 4 p.m. Let us turn out to cheer our energetic Edo Queens while strictly observing the COVID-19 protocol. The gates will be thrown open to football fans. For further information and purchase of jerseys, contact Sabina Amiaminogena Chikeri on 080-350-62356 or Kate Dirisu on 080-744-13731.
In the news, we told you Governor Obaseki says godfathers will not decide who emerges local government leaders. APC extends tenure of caretaker committee by 6 months. In today's Extra Voices, residents lament over rising number of petrol and gas plants within residential areas. Do remember that the continued unity of Nigeria is a collective responsibility. Be sure to play your part. Do not forget you can listen to us anywhere in the world by visiting our website at www.kufm.net or download our mobile app from the Google Play Store. We are also live on YouTube at KUFM Nigeria, and you can also listen to us on RadioGarden.com. KUFM News Break was produced by Nusahai Uwadiai. I am Omoyog Baide saying thanks for listening. Good morning.